What's up, everyone? Welcome to Lowered Expectations, or to the Joel Arsenault YouTube channel, wherever you happen to be watching this. I disappeared for about 7 months, as many of you probably have noticed, due to some life circumstances. I had to take a break from YouTube. I think I should start this video by saying that this is not my return to regular scheduling. This is an update video so that you guys don't worry about me being dead or never making videos ever again. I hope to make a few videos in the not too distant future on my Joel Arsenault YouTube channel. I'm going to try my best to build Jacob from the Jetski brothers. I have one of his engines. I'm planning on making a big bore, well, what started off life as an 1100 Kawasaki engine, and I'm planning on trying to make a big bore engine for him that has some porting work and should be a fairly fun and nice build. I'm gonna have to do some machining on my milling machine as well as my lathe. And so, yeah, that video will very likely be on the Joel Arsenault YouTube channel. This video is not complete by any means. It's showing you guys some of what I've been working on and why some of why I've been away. As many of you already know, Megan and I got separated, and I ended up buying her out and purchasing the house that I'm currently living in. So the house that you would have seen in my previous videos. I've had to do a bunch of renovations, and I've had to work my butt off this summer to make sure that I could actually afford to pay my mortgage. Some things in my life have changed between now and the spring, but I'm still going to be busting my butt, and I don't expect to be able to return to my regular video schedule anytime soon. I probably won't be making a bunch of diesel heater videos. I will probably show you guys some of the house. Maybe I've already showed you a clip of the house, of a quick walkthrough, but I do have people living in it now. The deadline of people living in the house and me trying to get things done overlapped. And so I don't want to invade people's personal privacy. That's a lot of P's. And be filming in their space. So I'm not going to show you the finished rooms. Yeah, but I'll come back at the end of this video and we'll have another little chat. I have been very busy leading up to this point and haven't had a whole lot of time to make videos or to work on the house or do much of anything. But we are currently in Stampede Week here in Calgary, Alberta, and that, along with the intense heat that we're having, it is currently 30 degrees Celsius, which is, I guess, this much Fahrenheit, means that it has slowed down considerably, which gives me a little bit of time to work on my house, which is good because I do have some people moving in, which you guys will probably hear about more in the future. Anyway, I did manage to get both of the rooms completely drywalled, mudded, painted, all of that stuff. It's not perfect. I got over myself and accepted that it wasn't going to be perfect. This isn't what I do, and yeah, even if it was what I did professionally, I still wouldn't be able to do it perfectly, I'm sure. Anyway, it's good enough. I'm happy with it. There are little defects that are probably going to bother me for years, but I'll just have to live with it and get over myself. These are some insulated OSB floor panels that I'm putting down on top of the concrete before putting laminate flooring down, very likely. Not sure exactly what I'm going to use for flooring yet. Okay, so here is a stack of 60 flooring panels. I think the brand name is Drycore, something like that. Anyway, I still haven't cleaned up the floor here. Last night I started putting in some outlets and stopped doing that at about 11:30 p.m. And so yeah, this is what the room looks like. It is a white ceiling. I don't know what this is called. I forget what it's called, but it's yeah, I wanted something. Wow, the camera can't even focus on it. It's so neutral. Anyway, I wanted something that wasn't too bright, but also not too dark, a little bit earthy. And this room here, I have cleaned up the floor. I got some stuff to box in that window. I'm kind of nervous about doing that. All the outlets are in place. Light switch is in place. Door is even on. And the registers or vents, whatever you call them. And yeah, I'm quite pleased with the way this turned out. The next thing I'm gonna do right away is actually start putting those floor panels down. I washed the floor last night. What you see around the outside isn't drywall dust, that's paint, or primer rather, from when I primed the walls with the spray painter, which works quite well, but is also quite messy. So this room should be fairly quick and fairly straightforward, but as soon as you assume that, that's when things go kind of sideways. So let's see what happens. The last clip that you guys saw was at 2 o'clock. It is now 4:30 something, I believe. And we've got a smaller pile of these things. And this room is not quite done, but it's almost done. I'm going to leave this space open until I do this room, because I'm going to end up with some scrap pieces and I can use those scraps there instead of cutting up full pieces to fill that gap. I also managed to get part of the window box done. I'm not sure if this was the best idea. I basically put some screws in here and countersunk them. I wanted this to be nice and secure, and I'm not sure how I'm going to fill them. This isn't really what I do. I have no idea. And also, I guess I'll probably just paint the end of this, but the idea is this piece, yeah, this is basically a shelf board, and I got it from Home Depot. I've got one more of these, and I'm going to use it for the top, but I'm going to cut it so that it's back, and then I'm going to use trim along the edges. So the rest of it is going to be trimmed in after it's boxed, but the bottom part will just have this overhang because I think it looks nice, and it's a good place for a cat to hang out, and Andy has a cat. So I ran into a bit of a problem. I got this flooring done, but as you come out here, there is a spot on the floor where the concrete is completely messed up, and not just because I messed it up, it was already messed up. The only way I can describe how bad this is that it looks like you would have had to purposely try to make it bad. The only thing I can think is that somebody has no grasp on reality or how physics and material properties actually work. This was a high spot in the concrete, and to try to fix it, it looks like somebody put more material on top of it. But the height difference between here and here is about 1.25 inches after I've already ground it down. I ended up buying a thing off Amazon that actually worked fairly well for small spots. Vacuum hooks up to it, and it has a diamond grinder head on it. So it attaches to your normal angle grinder. And I ended up plugging up 3 vacuum cleaners, including the one for my sandblasting cabinet. And so what I'm doing now, I've got this, I rented a Hilti jackhammer from Home Depot, and I'm going to attempt to break this area out. This is a quick intermission to thank Thomas for being my latest Patreon supporter. Thank you, Thomas. I do appreciate it. If you guys are interested in supporting me on Patreon, there is a link in the description below. I haven't been able to post there nearly as much as I would like to, but I have been trying to keep my Patreon members at least a little amused with some updates on what I've been doing around home. Once again, if you're interested in supporting me there, link in the description below. And thanks again, Thomas, for being my latest supporter. I've never used the jackhammer before. I have no idea how this even works. There's a power thing on it. I am going to attempt to figure this out without watching any videos, at first anyway. It came with 3 chisels. I think I'm going to try this one first. Let's see how straightforward this is. Okay. Okay. My GoPro battery died a long time ago. I got this all jackhammered out and brought the jackhammer back to Home Depot. I also bought some concrete. It looks like I probably bought way too much. I'm actually gonna put the concrete in dry and then pour, basically mix it in here. I'm not actually gonna thoroughly mix it, but I don't need this to be terribly strong. There's no supporting structures sitting on it. This is just gonna be to support basically foot traffic, and so yeah, this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna carry the bags in. It looks like it's gonna take, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like it's probably gonna take about 10 bags, 8 or 10 bags. Okay. Well, I can't remember exactly the last thing I filmed, but things sure have progressed, changed. Yeah, so I think the last thing I filmed was putting concrete in this spot here. It turned out pretty well, nothing to write home about, but I got it finished. Don't know if I showed you guys that I finished this room. But yeah, this room is now finished. And because I have friends moving in this weekend, I've been in a mad rush to get a door on this room. This is gonna be BJ's bedroom slash office. And so, yeah, I removed some drywall from there. I had to do some wiring changes, relocate some switches. I don't know if you guys will remember, but these switches used to be over here, and the switch for that room used to be over here on the other side of the wall, so I've relocated that. And I also had to do some duct work. This duct actually blows air out at the bottom of the stairs. Well, that's what it was intended to do, but whoever put in the ducting work did a horrific job. This pipe wasn't even, this piece of duct wasn't even connected. The elbow that goes on the main trunk, the ductwork, I couldn't get a piece to fit into it, so I ended up having to modify the end of one of these to make it go over it, but now it's actually attached. I dented in the ductwork here. They smashed in the side of it here and tried to bend it. I extended it longer and ran it down, so now it goes closer to the bottom of the stairs, which means I can actually move the drywall in here. The reason why I reframed and tore the drywall off is because they had done a horrific job. The wiring was very questionable. The framing was extremely questionable. This piece here wasn't supported. I think I have some phone clips of when I was tearing this apart. This was extremely sketchy. I've taken a bunch of photos of this to show how horrific of a job they've done. And I was just looking at this thinking that they must have put this post in here to support the landing of the stairs. This is the landing of the stairs here. But upon closer inspection, this is the only contact point that it actually has. And yeah, it's not connected anyway, so. I recorded a clip saying that my stairs weren't supported on this end. And I thought I must be wrong, so I started removing stuff and very carefully checking to see if it was actually supporting in any way. And it definitely wasn't, so this corner wasn't supported at all. Anyway, I've framed it all out. I've done most of the rewiring, and I'm putting up my first piece of drywall, so I thought I should probably get a camera out. It is now just before 11 p.m. and I've made a bunch of progress. I think I started around 2 p.m. today, and yeah, I started on the drywall, so it's taken me quite a while. I am definitely not good at putting up drywall, but this is what I've managed to do. This all went fairly well. I was surprised that how quickly this went up, considering there's a lot of angles and stuff that I really could have screwed up. I was quite stressed out about this, but I got it done. I would like to refinish this whole room, but I have to assume that as soon as I tear this drywall off and as soon as I tear this wooden board off, I would probably find framing under there that I just wouldn't be happy with, and I wouldn't be able to put it back. I wouldn't just be able to tear this stuff off and put drywall on, because I'd be way too frustrated about the framing, because that's the exact same thing that happened in that other room over there. So what I'm doing for now, this was all basically supposed to be just to get a door in here so that BJ's room will have a door on it. And then I found out that the ductwork was all messed up, and by putting the ductwork in there properly, well, I don't know properly, but putting the ductwork in there better, I was able to create considerably more space in this corner because they had this hanging down quite a bit more. So there's actually quite a bit more room here. Anyway, I'm quite pleased with it now. I still have a bunch of stuff to do. Obviously, mudding. I have to do the trim around the door, and also, I don't know what it's called, but what the door actually closes against. I still don't know what I'm going to do for a door here, but I think probably I will kind of case it in like you would case in, I guess, anything else. I'm not sure about this bottom board. I kind of like having that there as something for the doors to close against. I am not sure about this drywall being here. I'm not sure if that should be there or not. There's a lot of things that I'm not sure about this, but basically I do want to maintain that as a storage area because it's quite a bit of unused space otherwise. And I do need to insulate in there. That's concrete wall that you can see. It gets quite cold. I didn't know why that area always got very cold, but one is that the heater vent wasn't actually connected to anything, and two is that they didn't insulate at all under here. So we're gonna have to change that. It is currently Wednesday evening. I basically have Thursday and Friday, and then Andy's moving in on Saturday, and then by next Tuesday or Wednesday, BJ's gonna have to have all of his stuff moved out of his old house. So I don't have very long to actually finish this. Unfortunately, that is the end of the footage that I collected from this renovation project. The move-in dates of people who moved in and my renovation schedule kind of intermeshed with each other, and so I was finishing rooms as people were moving in. That means that, as I said at the first of this video, I'm not going to invade people's privacy and be filming in, say, BJ's bedroom / office. And so I do have a few photos that I will post here. Those of you who are following me on Instagram probably have already seen this, as well as photos of my bedroom that I refinished and a little thing that I built outside, a little shelter. There is some really great news. I was able to keep my house. I was able to keep my garage. I was able to keep all of my tools, including my milling machine, my lathe, the milling machine that I'm converting over to CNC, as well as all of that stuff. I've been able to keep all of my projects, including my jet skis and the jet skis that belong to the Jetski brothers. So that is obviously a bonus. When I have time, I'll be able to get back into that stuff. As far as I know, I'm relatively healthy, no new broken bones or anything like that. And so, yeah, what more can you ask for, really? That is going to do it for this one. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to respond to you guys in the comments because, again, I am too busy to talk apparently. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to respond in the comments section, but yeah, I would love to see you guys commenting down there and just saying hello if nothing else. That is going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.